Okay, hello. I'm Zoltar, also known as A99 Barnsey on either YouTube or Twitch. And I'm going to start doing a series showing off the new player experience of in Everquest Project 1999, which is it's a legacy server or it's a private server that has basically the original version of Everquest. I've been a long time MMO player, but I've never actually really played EverQuest. So uh, I'm just gonna do a series showing off what it's like playing EverQuest as a new player. Uh, One of the reasons that I decided to do this is actually that I've been closely following Pantheon: Rise of the Fallen. It's an upcoming MMO, and it's from the original creators of EverQuest. And a lot of the inspiration for that game comes from this old school EverQuest game. Uh, so I figured, why not jump in, see what that's like, get a better understanding of some of the mechanics and some of the things that people are discussing with regards to Pantheon, get a first-hand experience of that. Uh, so right now I'm about a week into trying EverQuest out here. I've got really two main characters. I've got a level 6 enchanter and a level, well, it's hard to see. I think he's maybe 8 shaman. So far, it's been really enjoyable, with some caveats to that. But anyway, also I just kind of wanted to play an old school MMO with sort of the types of content and atmosphere, the difficulty and grouping that's going to be the core gameplay of Pantheon. I mean, the reason why I'm so interested in that game is because that's what I want, and that's going to be what you're experiencing in EverQuest as well. So, that's sort of a rough, basic reason why I decided to make this series. Let me go ahead and just jump in. This was the first character that I made, was this enchanter. I played the barbarian a little bit more, but let me jump in with her, and I'll talk a little bit about uh, the very beginning experience that I had with this character. It was actually really quite rough. Coming in not knowing anything about. Well, I knew I'd heard secondhand some stuff about the game here, but I'm outside the city. I'm gonna actually zone into the main city here. Uh, See corpses everywhere. It's pretty common when you're starting out in this game, but uh, the experience for some of the other characters that the two other characters that I made, was a little bit easier, but especially on this high elf enchanter. I mean, they drop you in. You get a little note in your inventory saying to go see your trainer. Well, this is the high elf starting area, and you originally they drop you off like right here with these people. Uh, so I probably spent about 30 minutes running around, looking at all the vendors, but trying to find my trainer. It's sort of claustrophobic here, and um, yeah, so it was very difficult because what you actually have to do is it's not even in the area here. You have to run around here, and I actually did manage to fall in the water once and die. Uh, but you run around, and there's like a little side area back here, and I hope he'll be up, but at this point, I'm just kind of running around trying to find my trainer. Oh yeah, this ogre is here. I'm not sure what the deal is with this guy. If he's a NPC, I mean, I assume that he is an NPC. Maybe not, because it's his corpse, and I guess people can't play ogres. Uh, uh, yeah, here's another. That's definitely a player there. I don't know why ogres are always hanging out in this particular spot, but anyway. So you run out here. There's a little room there, but to actually get to your trainer, you got to come all the way up here, and then go in. Now, luckily, if you open up your inventory, they kind of have a class symbol here. So I just happen to have noticed that it matches this. So there's a little pad that teleports you, and then you run up in here. And so to a new player that had absolutely no idea what's going on, this was not easy to figure out. And then, of course, once you open it up, you have, they give you. So I'm still not even sure if what the best thing to do is with all these practices, but you can use those to train all these different things. And there's no description, so of course, I went and referred to the wiki, so I kind of got an idea of some things to do, but just right off the bat, I mean, abjuration, alteration, channeling, conjuration. It's quite an art, I guess, archaic and difficult. Not straight. It's not straightforward. This, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. But I eventually was able to get trained up, and as you can see, I've got some spells currently, and I'm not all that rich on this. All rich. I'd say I'm extremely poor on this character, but I do have a few plats in the bank, saving up for some additional spells. So anyway, yeah. In addition to all that, just like the way that the spells work was a little bit difficult. Like the UI is definitely archaic. Let's see. I need to actually run downstairs. So that was took a little bit getting used to. The other thing, which I finally figured out, but right off the bat, you can't really, if you don't know how to do it, you actually alt click on items to get the description. But it took me a while to figure that out. So just figuring out how to identify what an item is, it's stuff that you gotta more or less learn on your own. I guess you could read a guide or something, but yeah. So anyway, about the first 30 minutes to an hour was a lot of frustration, and somebody on the Pantheon Discord was saying that it took them 15 minutes to install the game and 15 minutes to uninstall it. So that first initial frustration can definitely be a hurdle to getting into the game. Hopefully, when Pantheon rolls about, I'm certain that they're gonna not hold your hand in terms of like a lot of modern MMOs where there's a tutorial and then you just do quests and everything's pretty much, there's no challenge, basically no way to die. But hopefully in terms of just making it a bit smoother to get in and actually find something to do. Hopefully Pantheon will be a bit more modern in that aspect. But regardless, I got over the initial hump of that difficulty with the UI and just figuring out where to go and whatnot. And finally, after that, you get out into the world, you come out here, and you start killing stuff. And that's what I love, just grinding on mods, challenging combat, group, getting in a group and stuff. So this has been a pretty good experience. Now, when you start killing stuff, and you may get a silver, things will drop, maybe a uh, let's see if I can actually kill this super low level wasp. Yeah, so I got a few copper here and there. Most things when you start killing, may get a wing or something worth of silver, and it can be a struggle to just buy your spells early on. Uh, but then, oh, actually, okay. So when these started dropping, and I got a little bit lucky by getting this one to drop, these giant wasp venom sacs. So the first one of those that I looted, and I took it into the city, and they give you like almost 4 gold. I was like, oh man, I didn't know how common they were. I thought maybe I got super lucky or something, because I went from just getting like one or some copper or a silver to I felt like a rich man with a couple of gold in my pocket, and that helped me get my spells and yeah, just run around killing stuff. A little bit of dying. Now this particular forest here, and I've read that it's one of the zones that's the most difficult to navigate, because it really is quite easy to get lost. And of course, one of the things about this game is when you die, you drop your corpse and all of your items on it. So, it's it is what it is. It can be frustrating, but it definitely adds a lot of moments of intensity to the combat when you start getting low, and you also lose experience, of course, too, and that can be quite a pain. These are all going to be things easy for me to kill. Let me run. Let's see if I can get a sense heading. Now I need to run northwest. Okay, so right now I'm at the level where I guess people call it the Orc Hill, and there's a bunch of good orcs right at the right level for me to take on. So that's where I'm gonna head. But yeah, lots of challenging stuff. Even sometimes enemies that con white to you, if you're solo, it can be a pretty difficult fight, which makes grouping together, very rewarding. And I've gotten into a couple of groups with a few people, some successful, some not so successful. I was duoing with another enchanter, which is probably not the best. Let me lull these. So one thing I figured that I've discovered is that since there's 3 here, what you want to do is lull them instead of mezzing, because if I mezz the other I'm going to get 2 of them. So if I lull this one, then I should be able to, and I should buff. I should be able to attack her. Yep. So this is more of a little bit of an even fight. And recast. Alright. So not too bad. But So I got into a duo group with another enchanter, and it was a disaster. Luckily I wasn't the one dying as much. The other enchanter, and it wasn't my fault either. It was 50-50, if not a little bit more the other person's fault for dying. But yeah, that didn't work out. But then the other day I got into a group with a cleric, I believe, and a druid. It was the first time I'd actually grouped with a druid, and we were doing really well. We were up at this orc camp up here, and we were just doing EverQuest things, camping out, doing a lot of meditation, getting that mana back, and then we'd do some multi pools and grinded for a while and had a good time. So that's the experience that is okay. Let's see. I've been wondering how to get up. It's not gonna hope. I don't know. Maybe it'll crush me or something because it doesn't look like there's a gap or anything to go up into. So there's this mysterious, some type of Lord of the Rings type elf city up there. So anyway, this is Enchanter. I've always been kind of drawn towards support classes or healing classes, sometimes tanking classes, but usually if I don't really know the game, I kind of like to make tank as a second class once I have a feel for the game and maybe experience some of the content to be a little bit more confident. Looks like there's a couple people up here. But yeah, the enchanters, crowd control. I've played a lore master in Lord of the Rings Online. Very crowd control centric, debuffing and crowd control. And then one of my all-time favorite classes was the controller from City of Heroes. I played specifically an illusion controller, and I freaking loved that. Rest in peace, City of Heroes, by the way. The illusion controller was great. They had that Phantom Army. You could drop off these invulnerable tank dudes, soak up a bunch of like initial damage on them, and let your tanks go in and grab threat and everything. It was cool. Charm. They could charm. Which, that's one thing the Enchanter, I believe, can do pretty well here. This probably won't give me any experience, but I don't see anything else around. So I like that. And then I've played the Shaman in a while. Focused on healing on that character, and that's one of my other all-time favorite classes. So that's kind of why I went with Enchanter and Shaman. Those are the things that I gravitate towards. And I have gotten a little bit lost here. I thought I was up near the orc camp, the orc hill. Let me make sure I'm going. I want to be going north. Since heading, that's another thing. No maps, which I kind of like, but it can be frustrating. And you level up this sense heading, which you can use to help get around. And there's at least there's one landmark, but most of this forest is just very, very similar and easy to get lost in. Looks like I'm at the northern border. And I'm probably just going to maybe kill a few orcs and see what goes on. How close? Okay, I just leveled, so hopefully I won't die in D level. let's see. I am in a guild. Haven't really done a lot of stuff in this guild right now. Oh, there we go. Okay, well, that's gonna be an even fight. The con, you right click, and it tells you basically what the level is gonna be and whether they're hostile or neutral. And how's my mana situation? I might meditate a little bit and get a little mana. So this is probably going to be not a super easy fight, but I should be able to pull it out. If not, I will go all Monty Python and run away. No shame in running away. I wish I had a little bit better bearing on where I am, because there's some guards at that elf city. But okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and maybe dot him up, and then that didn't take off too much of his health, so I'm gonna kind of kite a little bit, let that maybe tick a couple times, get a little extra damage in there, set up and do my I don't think there's anything that close. Ooh, he's hitting me hard. If it looks bad, I may fear him. Redot. Alright. Looks... unless you go... oh, that hurt. Let me go ahead. Yikes. It's getting a little close. Oh, Lord. My mana's low. Okay. Oh, God. It's gonna be... oh, come on, come on. Yes. And that's what it's all about. That could have gone poorly. I'm glad I kited him, because I think if I would have just tried to let him come to me, that was so close, it probably would have gone the other way. And yeah, I mean, they aren't kidding about what did it say? It looks like an even fight. That pretty much was an even fight. So, and with the way death works in this game, I don't know, like, taking even fights might not be the best way to go about this. So I really should be in a group or something where I can focus on utilizing my crowd control. But I wanted to make this video and, you know, give some impressions on since I started on this character. I felt it would be good to start my series with a little gameplay. So these are the spells I have so far. Oh yeah, I definitely. I'm glad I didn't die, because then I'd be kicking myself for not summoning my little helper here. Could have easily been the difference between life and death. So yeah, and this is another part of the game, is sitting down quite a lot, waiting for that mana to regen, waiting for your health to regen. You know, it's definitely its own style compared to the modern, like, go go go, you know, one hit everything, and you know, just grind quests. It's all about just getting this little mini task going, killing these things, clicking on something, you do this task, as opposed to having difficult fights, strategic. Your decisions matter quite a bit. Group focused, grinding. But and this is what I like. Of course, did play. I played WoW for a long time. It's a great game, and their quest design has gotten so good. The technology that they have to make that experience a really good experience. Much respect for that. But over time, you just once you've done a billion little quests, the novelty of it runs out quite a bit. And especially in Lord of the main games that I've played, I'll just kind of go through my history. I actually started off playing Asheron's Call. Oh, here's one. Need health, but I should be able to kill him a lot easier. I started off playing Asheron's Call back in 1999. I don't know, you may or may not have heard of it, but it was a contemporary to EverQuest, and it's very unique game. I loved Asheron's Call. It's what got me into MMOs. Main differences being the playstyle is really more reminiscent of an action RPG. There's not a lot of downtime like this where you got to. I mean, there is some, especially early on, but not to the level of what this is. And there's a lot of different ways where you can heal yourself up, and very much more action combat. Like you could take on a bunch of enemies. Very randomized loot, so you go out and pick up armors, and if you got great rolls, you could get a high armor level on a piece, and it would have different resistances for different damage types. So maybe you find a really great piece of gear, and it's all random, right? So there's sort of that loot hunting aspect that you get in a lot of action RPGs, and I love that too. That's one I wish games like Pantheon would. Well, I don't know. Maybe it might not necessarily fit that game, but I love action RPGs and loot hunting games, and games that have interesting random loot, unique items and stuff. And Asheron's Call had that element to it as well. But one thing that was awesome about Asheron's Call compared to EverQuest that really differentiated it was there was no zoning. So it was just this massive world. You could run across the whole continent and never have to zone. So I love that aspect about it. And also the other thing was like the enemies and the world was very, very unique. Like all these crazy different enemy types. Not very like traditional in terms of like orcs and trolls and goblins and dragons and stuff. It was out there. So anyway, that's my introduction to MMOs, was Asheron's Call, and then since then it's been like City of Heroes, WoW, and Lord of the Rings Online. But now I'm starting to get into EverQuest, and it's pretty cool. Like I actually very, very briefly did play EverQuest back in the day. It was actually our me and my friends, we all played Asheron's Call, like I said. But our college, the network for some reason at some point started having trouble connecting, so we couldn't play, and but it could connect to EverQuest, so we tried it out, and it's not that EverQuest is bad. I mean, obviously I'm enjoying it now, even all these years later, where the graphics are dated and everything, but it was one of those things where once you get used to things being a certain way and you have expectations, like with the zoning, right? So like I was used to just being able to run around and see the world. And then, you come into a different. Where did that guy go? Oh, I lost sight of him. There he goes. Uh, yeah, I mean, you get used to the combat being a certain way, not having loading zones and all this stuff, and then you try something else that's different, and it just doesn't feel right. And that's basically what happened with EverQuest. Um, if we had started on EverQuest, we probably would have fell in love with it and been EverQuest players. But work pawn, okay. So, no regrets though, except that Warner Brothers screwed everybody and closed the game down. Alright, I really would like to kind of get some bearings. And okay, that's west. It would be good to know where that guard camp is, so if I do get in trouble, I can have them save my ass. I'll play a little bit more on this enchanter, but I don't want to spend a ton of time. I want to do a little intro on my shaman, but yeah, this forest is super easy to get lost in, but it's pretty. Like, the atmosphere is cool, like the fog effect and everything. I dig it. Sound effects are nice. Maybe that's the orc kill there. Okay, yeah, here we go. So there should be a little road. So that's, I will say one thing for not having the map. It really does reward learning about the world. Figuring out the little landmarks that you can reference. So I like that. Um, I probably would like to have a map though, because okay, yeah, here we go. This is what I was looking for. And here's a couple little dwarf fellas. Hail them. Announce my presence. They may just be chilling there. So yeah, this is kind of where I've been grinding recently. Just go with this little road, and then you got a bunch of orcs. Solo, I try to pick off the ones that are pathing by. Usually they're going to be blue or white con. But I can, if I need to, get a single pull. Let's see if somebody's up there. I would try to join a group, but while I'm doing this intro series, I kind of want to focus on what's going on. Okay. Let's see how this person does. Centurion. Looks like they got it under control. Let's see what class they are. Another enchanter. Okay. Level 5, so actually one below me. Nice job, dude. Alright, let's see what we got here. I may have to mez pull one of these. Alright, just gonna mez that one. Check my mana. Maybe I'll sit down, gain a little bit of mana. So yeah, I'll maybe do a couple more kills and then end the video. Oh yeah. So another thing that I wanted to talk about was the community. My experience so far has been very positive. Let's see. Okay. Oh, I'll let him go by because he's green. I've had a couple people higher levels help me out in the buffs, and actually very early on somebody gave me this ring here, which has been pretty nice to have. And it's not about just getting items from higher levels or anything, but the people that have done that, they've given me advice. Sometimes helped out with corpse runs and buying little items like I don't have any on me now, but this one guy's been in some zones that I've been in spamming to buy little spider webs and stuff, and helping out with putting some cash in the pocket of players. Oh god. Okay. And yeah, I'm just probably gonna go ahead and run away. Sorry about that. See, should have gotten a better look at that camp. But yeah, the groups that I've been in, it's been really fun meeting a few people that are also quite new to the game, and then it's just been a very welcoming experience. Oh, okay. Let me actually go, because I've never been up to this town. I don't know if there's a way to actually push a button or something to get the platform to come down. I've seen it go up and down, but it's never done when I've been close enough to get on. Alright. Alright, this is pretty cool. I mean, it's pretty much what I expected, but it's cool nonetheless. Alright, I guess I'll go ahead and end it there. So this has just been kind of my introduction, talking about first experiences and experiences on this enchanter. I'm going to make my next video is going to be on my shaman, talking about the experiences in creating that character. And then I guess I don't know if I'm going to make a new character. Probably just stick with these two, although I did create a Shadow Knight, this level 1. But I'm going to make videos just doing stuff as a level. I may do some Twitch streaming as well, talking about as I get more spells and experience more of the game. I know right now I've probably barely scratched the surface of what all's in EverQuest. I know there's high level raids and stuff. Massive. I did WoW raiding when it came out. It was 40 man. Although they've walked that back towards usually it's like 10 man for what we do in my guild. Although I haven't raided in quite a while. I did a little bit at the beginning of Legion, and actually led our raid group during Cataclysm. That was fun, but I know like Everquest has the 40 or more man raids, and I don't know if I'll level up quite high enough and get into all that, but we'll see. I would like to experience as much as I can of EverQuest, but I don't have time to play it every day, all day, or anything like that. So the grind can be, from what I hear, especially in the classic 1999 version, it's a long process, which, it's like the saying goes, it's the journey, not the destination. So I'll just see what the journey entails. Anyway, let me go ahead and sit and camp and end the video. Hope it was enjoyable. I don't know. Hopefully you'll come back and watch more.